Toyota had one main goal in mind when it engineered the Prius Prime, the upcoming second-generation Prius plug-in. The new car had to be more electric. Compared to the first plug-in Prius, this wasn't exactly a difficult task, since that one could go just 11 miles on its piddly battery. Toyota made its mission clear right from the get-go. We learned at the Prime's unveiling at the New York Auto Show in April that the new model would get 22 miles of all-electric range. That's also when we learned just how much Toyota heard all your complaints. Whether in online forums, at focus groups, or through customer research, Toyota got the message that what people want from a green car in 2016 is electric miles. And an electric Prius that could only go 62 miles per hour, like the first gen did, before the gas engine was forced to turn on just wouldn't cut it. Good news, everyone. The Prime can reach 84 miles per hour without any assist from the onboard fossil fuels. You might not always want the car to run up to that speed using nothing but battery power, but more on that in a bit. Customers also told Toyota that they liked the incredible gas-powered efficiency that the Prius offers. For many car buyers, miles per gallon remains the one and only way to define a car's green card. The Prime is expected to get the same fuel economy as the 4th Gen Prius liftback, which means 52 combined mpg. Official numbers will be out later this year, but 52 is a lot higher than, say, the 2nd Gen Chevy Volt, which gets 42 miles per gallon, along with, of course, a whopping 53 miles of all-electric range. Numbers on paper, though, only tell you a little bit of the story. Thankfully, we recently got to try out a pre-production Prime on a test track in Japan. It was a long way to go for a short drive, just 3 laps of a 3-mile loop, but if you pay attention, you can learn a lot from a little. Heck, you can learn a lot even just from the look of the Prime. While it shares much under the metal with the 4th Gen Prius, it's impossible to mistake the two. The front end has been given the treatment it deserves, and the character-laden rear end, with its elegant strip of red LEDs, sets it apart from the controversial 4th Gen Prius update. More than once during our time on the track we heard that the Prime is what the 4th Gen Prius should have been, and we agree. Also, the Prime has an amazing rear window with an attractive central dip that cannot have been cheap to include in the final design, but it's completely worth it. When you open up the rear hatch, you'll be able to see one of the ways Toyota cut some of the weight from the Prime thanks to exposed carbon fiber near the seal. All the carbon fiber used in the Prime is made by Toyota, which signals that we can expect a lot more of this sort of lightweighting from the company in the coming years. You can even learn a lot from the name. It's not subtle, but the Prime designation makes it clear that Toyota thinks this is the absolute best model in its popular hybrid lineup. And make no mistake, this is undoubtedly a Prius. There's the traditional push-button starter and, just like all the other Priuses, the Prime proudly carries on the tradition of offering up plenty of pointless beeps and buzzes. You can't miss the cutesy little melodies that play when the car is turned on or off. But this time the sci-fi sounds are at least in good company with an 11.6-inch, full-color touchscreen that dominates the center stack and responds to some swipe commands, just like your phone. Navigation comes standard and there's an available color head-up display to make the Prime feel suitably tech-y. For the few minutes I was able to try it out, the interface felt intuitive and easy to use, and even a bit futuristic. In fact, when you drive the Prime after getting out of a 1st Gen Prius plug-in, itself based on a standard 3rd Gen Prius, the differences are so stark you might think a few decades had passed between the two, not just 5 years. Where you learn the most, obviously, is behind the wheel. And this is where the Prime shows its full promise. Just like the new Prius liftback, the Prime does not drive like a Prius of old. Thanks in part to a new double wishbone independent rear suspension and the new TNGA platform, the Prime is more spritly than all earlier Priuses. The car is more connected to the road, And anyone who has been interested in the incredible fuel efficiency of the Prius but wanted something more engaging should most certainly get themselves some seat time. Compared to its plug-in predecessor, the Prime offers way more quiet, more oomph, and, yes, more electric power. In short, drivers will have far less to complain about. The improved driving style is also helped by how Toyota changed the way the two electric motors work in the new plug-in powertrain. In the previous Prius plug-in, there were also two motors, but one was used to move the car and the other was used as a generator. Now, thanks to a new one-way clutch, both motors can propel the Prime while the engine locks up. Overall output from the motors has grown from 37 kilowatts to 68. That's part of the reason for the higher top electric speed, but it also means that the Prime operates more like an EV more of the time.